in between. And please wear your face masks. I know it's nothing pleasant, but those are the rules. And also, I would like to ask if, like, the students, because we need the Wi-Fi. So, for now, then we're gonna deal with it. So, like, right now, please don't connect. So, to officially start, I would like to invite in here Adele for the official opening.
Good morning, Yes and Suzette. How did you sleep? I mean, I have to ask every time, right? Did you? Yeah. Okay, more or less. Good, good. It's very nice to see you all here. Thank you very much for coming and for waking up in the morning. That's very important. Before I start with the opening, the very first thing I would like to say is thank you to our lovely OC for inviting us to the city of Budweis and for hosting us this weekend. Since we all are here now, OC, would you like to say a few words?
Hola, hola, hola. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, the thing is that Kuba had the stream on his computer. So no, yeah, I'm sorry. I should wear a mask. I have to figure it out where it is. But yeah, I hope that you had a wonderful night of sleep. And yeah, welcome to Budweis. That's the city where everyone wants to live, right? And yeah, I wish you to be all healthy. I wish you to have a good fun, and hopefully tonight we will enjoy it. And today, please don't sleep. Try to, because you have to respect like OC. You have to respect national board. You have to respect the chairing team. We put a lot of effort to prepare this event for you. So just try to behave as a adult. So that's it from my side. Enjoy.
Thank you, Zenda. And thank you to our lovely bunnies. Great costume, by the way. Okay. So before I officially open this National Assembly, I would like to say a few words. They told me I have 15 minutes. So I was thinking maybe I could do a couple of jokes, but then I was like, no, not a good idea in the morning. So once again, welcome here in Budweis. It is very lovely to see you all here. We have already started the semester, or at least most of you, and most of you have already also finished the orientation weeks. So I would like to say congratulations to all of you who already finished, because we know how difficult this must have been with all the regulations. But guys, this is the first physical orientation week that we've had in 2 years. So great success, I guess. So congratulations. We do hope that you had a great time with your international students. We heard there are many of them this year. So why not kicking off this semester not only with the international students, but also with our colleagues from the network, right? So as this is the first National Assembly of 2020, do you know what that means? Like, what kind of year is this? Why is it so special? We don't talk about it at all. Louder. Exactly. And how old is ESNCZ? Beautiful. So it means that we are not teenagers anymore, right? And we shouldn't behave like nice. No. I'm not going to speak long of this anniversary. I just want to say that we are kicking off the 20th year of our organization, and many of you know that we've already started creating the history book, and we already have some articles from the first national boards. And I must say that even after talking to some of our first alumni, I do believe that right now our generation is living the dream of our predecessors, and we should be definitely proud of it. So please keep this in mind, because this year is not only special for ES&CZ, it is not only the anniversary of the national level, but of the whole organization, of all of us. It is the celebration of volunteering and of what we are doing with the international students and how we are shaping the society. So please keep this in mind. And speaking of the special occasions, we do have some special guests here today here with us. I believe that it is their very first ESN event, and as you know, we are now trying to establish a brand new section in Pilsen. So please go meet them, talk to the girls. I believe they will appreciate it a lot, and try to share some love and some support, because I'm not sure if you remember your first National Assembly, but it is interesting, right? It's a very enriching experience. So please help them to live this experience to the fullest as well. And one more thing I would like to say is that you have already read an email from Cuba. However, I would like to remind you that this is still a statutory meeting of ES and Czech Republic, and we all should behave accordingly. So I would like to kindly ask you to do so, especially when it comes to the regulations related to COVID-19. It's still here, I know, very sad, but at least we could meet in person. So please keep this in mind. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, of each other. Take some notes. We will have a lot of important and interesting presentations today, so that later you can share it with your members in the sections. And enough of speaking, not that many jokes, I'm sorry, it's too early in the morning. But I would like to officially open National Assembly Budějce 2022.
Thank you, Adele. And now I think we can continue with some introduction rounds to get to know each other and introduce each other. So I'm gonna start with our lovely chairing team. So as you can see, my name is Zuzana and I'm the main chair. Here is lovely Maggie as a vice chair. And unfortunately, Adam couldn't join us, but he was supposed to be technical chair. Instead, Kuba is helping. So to continue with the national board, you can see those lovely people in the first row. So as you already heard from Adele, the president of ES&CZ. Then we have Lucka, the network manager. Mishka, the communication manager. Then we have Luki, the treasurer. Marushka, the partnership manager. And also Kuba is a vice president. And as I said, Adam couldn't join us, unfortunately. Also, we are having some national board supporters in here. First of all, it's Peťa, she is there as a president's community manager. Then we have Filip Marek as a server administrator, up in there. We are also having Verča as HR and events community manager, right here. And me as events coordinator. To continue, we would like now the section representatives to introduce themselves. So I hope that all of you are like in the first rows, and we're gonna give you the microphone, and please say your name and your section clearly so Maggie can write it down. And I have also a question for you. What was your first thought in the morning?
Marushka, you can start. Oh.
Section delegate.
I'm so sorry.
Well, hello. I'm Vanessa. I'm from ES in Ostravska. And my first thought in the morning was, oh damn, I forgot my flag in my luggage.
Hello, I'm Zdenda from ESN VSB2 Ostrava, and my first thought was, do I really need to wake up?
Hi everybody, Peťa, ESN Mendel Brno. Adele, you know what was my first thought in the morning, right? But officially it can be, what a nice sunrise.
Hello, I'm Bartoloměj from ESN VŠE Prague, and I think my first thought in the morning was how grateful I am to be able to live through this beautiful day and enjoy this beautiful seminar.
Hello, I'm Richard from ISCCTU in Prague, and my first thought in the morning was like, I want to sleep.
Hello, everybody. I am Teresa from CZU Prague, and my first thought in the morning was like, oh, am I already late?
Hi, I'm Stepanka from ESN UCT Prague. Here? Where? What? What? I am Stepanka Prokopová from ESN UCT Prague, and my first thought was, when does the shops open in České Budějovice?
I'm Alexia Klia. I'm from Radex, ESN Radex Kralove. My first thought is my alarm broken? Am I late?
Hi, I'm Teresa from ESNCU Prague, and my first thought was, am I really awake at 6 a.m. on Saturday?
Hi, I'm Vercha from ESN UP Olomouc, and my first thought was, I hope that the breakfast is yummy.
Morning, Anna, ESN Pardubice, and my first thought was that I need coffee to somehow like exist, so.
Hello, my name is Petra Skálova. I'm from ESN VŠTE Budweis. And my first thought was, hell no.
Hi everyone, my name is Filip. I'm from ESN VUT Brno, and my first thought in the morning was, why is everybody still sleeping?
Hello, my name is Marianka. I am from ESN Muni Brno, and my first thought was, is it raining? And unfortunately it wasn't.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm from ESN Ústí, and my first thought was, what time is it?
Hi, I'm Filip. I'm from ESN Zlín, and my first thought was, why am I awake at 7 a.m. on Saturday?
Hi, I'm Misha from ESN Liberec, and my first thought was that I'm hungry.
Hi, I'm Michael from ESN USB Budweis, and my first thought in the morning was from the Czech film, What a Beautiful Day, Albert.
Okay, thank you. I hope we had all the sections. And now I'm gonna give a word to Zenda to also introduce our lovely OC that is hosting us.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention your names. So, I'm Zdenek, that's Evča, Vicky, Kamšat, Štěpka, Danča, Kuba, and Simcha, and Ondra somewhere. So, we are your OCs, and we are at your disposal. So, if you need anything, like anything, just tell us. That's it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And so we could move on. Okay, now we can move on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, perfect. So we are also having some rules of the game. Some of you might know it, but we all love reminders, right? So let's go through it. There are some people that has right to vote. So it's the person with right to vote, or like a person with the delegated vote. Of course, you have a right to propose. We are having like two different situations. One is to like propose the changes in agenda, and if nobody is against, it's automatically approved. And the second situation is right to propose for the voting, and it can be done by the member of the national board or by the section representative, but he or she needs to be seconded by other two people, like other two section representative. Also, like right to speak is granted to everybody, of course. And when we are talking about speaking, we are also having some rules, let's say. So if you're gonna have a question, you need to raise a hand like this. And if you have a reaction, it's gonna be 2 fingers. If you have a procedural question, it's gonna be 1 finger. Also, if you're gonna be interrupting or something, we're gonna be raising our hands, okay? That means you need to be quiet. And also, if you're having the silent agreement, as you may seen it already, we are doing it like this. So what to do when you want to speak? Of course, you need to raise your hand, and please keep your hand raised until the chairing team will notice, okay? Thank you. And you need to clearly say your name and the section, so Maggie can write it down. Be concise and respect the time you have. So already, if you are not having a question that is related to the topic, like please keep it for later. And if it was already something covered, please don't ask again, for example. You need to speak clearly, and also you can speak only when the chairing team will tell you, so we are not like screaming all of us at once. And we are also having some general conduct rules, like we speak in a respectful and non-insulting tone. We don't repeat what has been said. We need to be on time because we have agenda to follow. You can write down what you want to say in advance, so it's like more efficient, let's say. And also you need to respect the code of conduct of ESN International, and of course no discrimination, harassment or violence of any kind. I don't think it's gonna be the case. And also, if you're gonna have some extra needs, whatever comes to your mind, you can approach us as a chairing team, or you can approach anybody from the OC team. Be respectful to each other. Like when somebody is talking, please be quiet and listen. Also, when the presenter is here, please just listen and don't interrupt. Try to be active and constructive. Be on time, as I said before, because we know that you are like to be late. So don't be today. Thank you. And enjoy and have some fun. Now to the more formal things. The first, voting about the agenda. So I hope that all the section delegates are having the voting devices already. I think it's a paper with your section, right? So firstly, we're gonna have a quorum check. And my question for you is, which is the best beer? The possible answers are A, Pilsner, B, Budweiser, C, Kozel. So prepare your voting devices, please. And raise your voting device for A, B, or C. So first of all, I'm gonna be asking about answer A. Who is voting for Pilsner? Okay, thank you. Now, who is voting for Budweiser? Ooh. Okay, who is voting for Kozel? Yeah, okay, so we were having 10 votes for Pilsner, 0 for Budweiser, and 8 for Kozel. So we are having the 18 votes, so the quorum check has been reached. And now to the official question. Do you approve agenda of National Assembly Budějce 2022 as proposed in the preparation package? The possible answers are yes, no, and abstain. So please raise your voting devices for yes. Please raise your voting devices for no. And voting for abstain. Okay, thank you. There has been 18 votes for yes, so the proposal of agenda for this National Assembly is approved. And now I would like to invite our audit committee to say something about the report.
Thank you. Actually, we are not audit committee anymore. So good morning, everybody. My name is Monika, for those who don't know me, because I saw this morning many new faces I didn't see. So yeah, I'm here to present our annual report for the last 2021 year. And first of all, I would start with some questions to you. And I would like to ask you to just shout the answers. Don't raise your hand or anything, just shout the answers. So first one is, who knows that we have some people who are audit committee in ESNCZ? Perfect, not many. Okay, are you sure that you don't know the rest of you? Okay, maybe it's good that we are here then. The second question is, how many members audit committee have? Perfect, more answers, great. Okay then, and one more question. Can you name current members of audit committee? Perfect, even more answers, thank you very much. I can see it here, yeah, I didn't want to turn so much. So yeah, these are the members of Audit Committee 2020, and I'm showing you our faces because we were the first Audit Committee members, and also we were Audit Committee the last year, as you could expect it, and as you can see, we are still smiling, so it wasn't too bad. So for you or for your members in your sections, in case you would like to apply for the next audit committee, it is not much work, as you will see in my next slides. Why did you not hear much from us during the past year is because I'm sure most of you already heard that audit committee is not like proactive body of ESNCZ as a national board or national assembly and so on. We are really a reactive body, and we react only to you, to our network, and we have only few responsibilities. Why is the S down there? Okay, never mind. First is to open NB call for NB members, and the second one is to evaluate objections for our network members, and basically into fields like procedures and finances. So in case there would be some objections from network that there were some problems and some failures from National Assembly part or NB part, we were here to reach out to us and discuss it and evaluate if it was wrong or it wasn't, and so on. So this is basically the job of audit committee, and that's it. But to get to the annual report for the last year, we opened several times the NB open call because in the first round the whole NB wasn't elected. We also we joined some national assemblies as members of the electoral committee to stay in touch with the network. We were reached, the NB reached out to us to discuss or oversee, as you can see in the slide, the process of expulsion of ESN-CZ member. So in case there would be some objections, we are aware and we can act as we should. And we shared also our ideas about the process of election of next audit committee, because we had some opinion and idea about it. So we shared this with NB. And there were not in the last year any objections from the network. So that's it. That's great actually. And that's it from our part, and that's the annual report for 2021. And this is the address where you cannot reach us anymore, but the next audit committee will be happy if you need to reach out to them. You can do it through this email address. So that's it from my part, and I guess there is some discussion if you have any questions, but yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So anybody? Yeah, Maria?
Okay, so yes, exactly. Maria is who would be a perfect candidate for the audit committee? If I'm a newbie, can I be part of it?
Thank you, Maria. That's a good question. Actually, it's good that it's a member who really knows the network. So it doesn't have to be like the alumni from the NB or so on, but it should be a person who knows the procedures in our network and can be objective and can, for example, advise in case there is a need and so on. So it should be some experienced member of ESN-CZ, not a newbie.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes, Adele?
Adele, ESN-CZ. Monique, thank you very much for the presentation. And first of all, thank you very much for our cooperation in the past 2 years. I personally appreciate it a lot. So give my thanks also to the girls. But I do have a question. And my question is, why would you say that the audit committee is an important body in ESN-CZ? Why do we need it?
Thank you, Adele. Well, I think it's important because when there wasn't audit committee, there was only the National Assembly and NB, and there wasn't anyone who can objectively say if some of those bodies did something wrong. So, in case there was some problem or disagreement between NA and NB, there was no one who could evaluate who. Be some troubles and who can help the network to find the solutions. Yeah. So thank you. And one. Okay, perfect. It's working. So any more questions? Nobody? Okay. So thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, and let's continue with the representation fund that's going to be presented by Lukáš.
So, hello. Or maybe, oh, yeah, no. So, I'm about to present a proposal for change in a standing order number 3, national board. And I hear you asking, like, again, a change in SOS, was the board just bored again? Not really, we have our reasons. So, one of the basic reasons is the change of the structure of ESN international events. Just to remind you what representation fund is, it used to be an NR fund, and it is a special fund, surprisingly, or a financial reserve for the national level to ensure that for each and every important or statutory event of ESN International, we will necessary representative of ESN Czech Republic. It was aimed for the statutory events, meaning the AGM and the CNRs, which are bodies and events that no longer exist. And if we would like to use this fund to send a country delegate to EGM, well, we couldn't, because it's not allowed by the standing order. So that's one of the main reasons. Also, the prices in general are going up. Money is losing value, so that's one of the other reasons. And also, it used to be a practice that for each and every event, the accommodation was included in the fee. But in the recent history, it started to happen more and more often that the accommodation is not included in the participant's fee. And also the standing order would not allow us to use this fund, this money, for accommodation of the delegate. So, to the actual changes we are proposing, we added the formula about the Erasmus Generation Meeting, since it is not the statutory meeting of ESN ISBL, but we definitely need a country delegate to lead the delegation, and it's a lot of work, and we feel it's important enough that we have to ensure that there will always be the country delegate or the representative of ESN CZ, might it be from the NB or not. Again, we added some formulations about the accommodation, so we can use, or our successors can use the fund also to cover the accommodation. And while we were at it, we raised even the maximum amount, or no, I have that on next slide. And we also added the formulation about leading ESNCZ delegation. So not only the person that is voting can use the fund, but also the leader of the delegation. And as I already mentioned, right now the representation fund has a ceiling at 100,000 Czech crowns, which we felt can vanish pretty quickly. So we decided to raise it up to 150,000, and the minimum as of now, it's 10,000 Czech crowns, which, if you look at prices of traveling nowadays, is basically nothing. So we decided that it would be nice to raise it at least to 20,000 Czech crowns. When there is less than the minimum amount at the fund, the NB is required to actually transfer the funds from the main account to this fund. Just to quickly explain, basically the representation fund in practice is a separate account we have within our bank. So we have the main account, and then separately we have the representation fund. That would be all for me, unless you have any questions.
Hello, Martin.
Yeah, I opened the speakers list. So who was? Yeah, okay, Martin, go for it.
Hello, Martin, ESN VSB, TU Ostrava. Maybe not really for you, Luky, but question, like if there was maybe some pressure from the national organizations for the OCs, like to start providing also accommodation again in the fee, or not really?
Okay, Martin, thank you for the question. I will answer it as I'm responsible for international matters. The first thing is that we are in the middle of pandemic, and it is extremely unsustainable to include accommodation. Please try not to sleep in the plenaries. Thank you. So it is extremely unsustainable to work with the accommodation. We know how AGM Sweden went, or is still going, right? So that is one thing. Another thing is that already before the pandemic, the NOs were discussing this situation, meaning excluding accommodation, so that the participants would cover it themselves, because it was extremely hard to find OCs for international events. And many of the applicants refused to apply to be the OC because of the accommodation. And I know that, for example, when it comes to EGMs, it was also a case of ESNCZ for many years, because we were not able to find suitable accommodation, for example, for the EGM. And as you might have seen in the open call for the OC of EGM 2023, the accommodation is again not included. So as we are growing bigger as a network, the pandemic is still here. It is financially exhausting, and also when it comes to the organizational point of view. So no, and the countries are actually in favor of not including accommodation.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. Are there any more questions? If not, I propose to close the speakers list. Are there any objections? Okay, so the speakers list is closed. And now I would like to give a word to Kuba, and he's going to be talking about reinforcement of the chairing team.
Okay, hello. So, something about the reinforcement of the chairing team. It's not completely a new topic. I hope everyone knows what I will be going to talk about in the future few minutes. How it started? Well, what's the current state of the chairing team? The chairing team is elected or appointed before every National Assembly, and they are active for that individual National Assembly. And when the National Assembly closes, the chairing team is disbanded, let's say. So you can see the process. We start with the application during the open call. Then we have the appointment itself, where the first complications start. First, the National Board has to open the call before every National Assembly, and then we get somewhere between 1 to 3 or 4 applications, and most of them are for the main chair, because the main chair is the main representative of the chairing team during the assembly. So yeah, I understand that it's a very attractive position in the chairing team, but sadly other positions are also necessary, and usually the applicants are not interested in other positions. So we have to try to persuade the applicants that, okay, we have 3 applications for the main chair, we have no for vice chair, we have no for technical chair. So could you please help us with being the vice chair as well, not only the main chair? Sometimes people say yes, sometimes people say no, and we have to act accordingly. This causes the problems with the briefing call, because the briefing call then happens quite late, because it takes us up to 1 week before we find either a replacement or persuade one of the applicants to join other position in the chairing team. Then we have the assembly, and then after the assembly we have the briefing, this is like, to my own shame, doesn't always happen like properly. So there is not a well-defined transition between between each chairing teams, or between the consecutive chairing teams. Yeah, so we actually asked, maybe I can hide this so you don't read it and pay attention to me. We asked in December or January about possible reinforcement or changes. We proposed some changes, such as having the chairing team appointed for a longer period of time, and asked about your opinions, especially when it comes to what should be the mandate, how long should it be, maybe how could be the process, or are there any alternatives? So this was basically our proposal, that the chairing team would be appointed for a specific mandate, where the maximum mandate would be 12 months, so the whole mandate of the national board or national supporters, and there would be well-defined onboarding and offboarding process, so the experience could be passed on a little bit better. Yeah, but there are also some problems. Of course, the application before the mandate, well, the structure of the application right now is name, surname, section, position in the network, and then why should you be, or why would you like to be the next chairing team. I believe if we promote the chairing team to the level of national supporters, for example, the application should be a little bit more structured, and there should be some kind of background motivation, maybe no, not sure about recommendation, probably not. But yeah, there should be some rules for the application. Yeah, then there would be the onboarding together with the previous chairing team, and then there would be series of assemblies and feedback. There was one opinion, or there was like one question from Terka, Tete, our alumni coordinator. What would happen if the chairing team didn't meet the criteria of the chairing team? So what if there were some problems? How would we solve it? So that's one of the possible problems when it comes to this proposal. And then there would be offboarding with the consecutive chairing team. Yeah, of course there are infinite solutions in between, having some kind of professional chairing team and chairing team based on volunteers for every individual National Assembly. One of the proposals was having workshops on how to facilitate, how to chair, basically. Then there were like having some kind of backup, maybe some kind of I don't want to say community, because it wouldn't be probably a proper community, but group of people who have experience with chairing or who are very enthusiastic about it, and reaching them every time there is a problem with not having enough applicants, which would be probably every time. Then there was having a proper chairing team, or more for the specific mandate, but also having the possibility to apply, which would be kind of difficult to manage, because then we would have to define who has the priority, for example. And then maybe, that was actually my personal idea, what if we involved the audit committee in the chairing team as in a similar matter to involving it in the electoral committee. Of course, this comes with a problem. If we don't have an audit committee, this is not a solution. Yeah. So that's all from me. I believe there should be a time for discussion. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, everything, I would be very happy to hear them. Because sadly, so far only representatives of 2 sections and together 3 people stated their opinion. So it would be really nice if we got more opinions on this matter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Before I open the speakers list, I would like you to wake up. Thank you. So I open the speakers list. Oh yeah, sorry, if you're gonna be sleeping, we will throw this ball to you. Thank you, OC, for the welcome back. Okay, so I hereby to open the speakers list. Zdenda?
Zdenda, ESN, VST, Budweis. Is there a specific date where the selection of the candidates will start? Or because it's still in the process, so it's not sure if it's gonna happen or?
Yeah, this is a proposal. Just as I said, there were not enough opinions on this. So, I mean, we don't want to decide it by ourselves. We would really like to know, like, what's your opinion. If you tell us this is a rubbish, then we will probably think about it a little bit more. If you tell us this is a great idea, then we will start. We will propose the appropriate changes in the standing orders, so this could happen for the first time.
Okay, then I don't have any question. Can I share my opinion on this? Just
yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I'm sorry. I thought that it's already approved, because for me it's so good to have a like chairing team who will travel on every national assembly. So yeah, I'm like 100% for it from my side. I think it's good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So firstly, we have Maria.
Okay, Maria Yesen Hradec Králové. First, I would like to say I think this is a great idea. We've talked about it in the past in some of the calls. I've also been part of the chairing team a couple times, twice. I think this would help a lot. The only thing that I would like to see from the, let's say, the perspective of this proposal is to have a sort of like the event paper that we have, you know, let's say like some guidelines of like, hey, this is how it's going to look like and these are the steps. So for example, if we will agree that the mandate of the chairing team will be 6 months, or that it will be agreed upon before, that there is also an explanation of how it would be in case somebody from the chairing team cannot make it to one particular event. So let's say if one person from, let's say, the main chair doesn't know how, cannot make it to one specific event, that then how long before do we open the call for the main chair, if that makes sense. So maybe I think what is missing for me is more structure, but I understand this is like the first open conversation we're having in NNA about it. So it's just a comment, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, thank you. Then I see the girls. Okay, Verča.
Hi, Verča, ESN UP Olomouc. Personally, I think it's a good idea. However, for me, it seems the period for 1 year too long for people to apply. So I guess like one semester, like 6 months is quite appropriate. Maybe even like quarter of the, but quarter of the year is one event, right? So maybe like 6 months would be better for the start, for the people to start applying for these kind of, yeah, to be part of the chairing team. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that there would be some kind of like process, so people can discuss all the good practices, how to be part of the churning team.
Okay, Adele has a reaction. Comment.
Okay, Adele, yes, and she said this is actually something completely different, but does anybody know how the chairing team on the international level works? Yeah? Okay, nice. So I will quickly explain, okay? On the international level, we have the GACT, that is now here for the second year. And that GACT consists of 3 people and is elected for the whole year because we only have 2 general assemblies in a year. But what does the GACT do in between the GAs? Because it is not only about the moderation of the meetings, there are actually more things to do. And why we believe that it would be very helpful also for our members is that the GACT also takes care of all the procedures and, let's say, the statutory requirements of all the NOs. So they regularly check that we have everything uploaded, that all the reports are done, that, well, all the things. Yeah, there are a lot of things. So they do check it regularly. They take out our voting rights as the countries if we miss something or if we are late, and they give us the voting right back when we complete oral requirements. I'm not saying this is what we should do in ESNCZ. However, there are still things or situations where the possible chairing team that would be elected for a longer period of time, let's say 6 months, could grow also individually. Could help also, for example, with the section representatives or with the section checklist. Let's say the alternatives that we have from the international level. So this is just a very quick explanation. And personally, I don't know what we would do without the GA chairing team. This is a very important body for us on the international level, and having something like that on the national level, well, we believe it would be very helpful as well. Yeah, Alex?
Alexia Klia from Radek Kralove. I just have one question for Adele then, because my question was about the international chairing team. How are they elected? What do you know the process?
Okay, so actually yesterday the open call for the next GA chairing team was opened, and yeah, I need to take this off. So there is an open call, and it is a body that is elected just like the international board. There is a application before the GA, spring GA. Then there is a question round done through the candidates block, just like with the international board, and it is the same with the audit commission and that arbitration board, etc. Other bodies. And then the candidates have a presentation at the spring GA, and there is the secret voting. The mandate starts just like with the IB, meaning the 1st of August.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Any more comments, reactions, questions? Yes, Petra?
Petra, ESN Mendel Brno. I would just like to share my opinion about the situation. I really like if it should be like for 6 months, so like 1 semester. And I really like the idea about the workshops. I think it would help some members, mainly about the other 2 positions that are not usually filled, about the technical chair and vice chair, because like we don't know what really they need to do. So yeah, so the so the workshops about this would be really great, I think, for the network.